Yeah.
Nobody in the waiting room right now. We have a quorum, right?
Want me to give them a few minutes to log in?
I think they should be all right.
If you two want to jump in there, I'll
Yeah.
make you panelists.
Got 3 people on. All right, John on. Not you, John. Not John. Okay. Okay, seeing it's 3 o'clock on Thursday, December 12th, 2024. I'll open the meeting of the Police and Court Building Committee. Seeing that we have a quorum here, move on with the first agenda item, review and approve previous minutes, which I was sent out on the last invite. I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion?
No.
We don't have any members. We have a quorum here, so I don't need to do a roll call vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Second item on the agenda is a presentation and discussion regarding the current state of the project, anticipated next steps, representatives from Dorr and Whittier, WT Rich, CMS. Focus on schedule change orders and overall impact of the budget. Who wants to take this?
I can start.
Rich, please, Chris.
Sean, can you enable screen share?
I don't know if I made you a panelist, you should. You don't have that option right now, John?
When I hit share, it says host disabled participant screen share.
Give you the option. Oh, that's no.
Now it is, no. Now we got it. Okay. So state of the project, so we're right there, we're very close to being, totally completed and substantially complete. We're in our final cleaning stages up on level 2. Millwork in the courtroom is 95% done, we just have a few, punch list items remaining on that. Final flooring is going in, and our MEP work is in the balancing and testing phase currently. We have our life safety walkthrough next Wednesday with the fire department, and we have our final walkthrough with the building inspector December 23rd. At that point, hopefully we will get, TCO or CO depending upon some of the front entry stuff. But we're right there, we're in really good shape. Just some other updates that we're working on is some minor change order work up on the roof, the firing range work, we're getting some of that final flooring down, the Mondo flooring for the simulator area. And just some masonry remediation. Just some update photos, so that's the curtain wall being painted at the top. So that's what's gonna look like, it looks really, really nice, I think. New stairs with the new tile, obviously it's a little dirty right now, but that was in the process of being grouted. We'll have everything final cleaned. New parking lot out back, which has been striped and final paved. And this is some of the courtroom millwork that's ongoing. And, since then we have installed carpet in that area. And this is just, some views of the carpet in one of the offices and in the main clerk area up on level 2. Same carpet that is downstairs in the police area. So look ahead, and like I said, life safety inspection next week, final walkthrough, finishing up our final cleaning and, hopefully substantial completion, before the holiday, if not very, very shortly after the holiday. Those guys up there, Jack and John have done a really nice job. Not me, John Danisco. The new super up there have done a really nice job closing out the project and getting us to the finish line. Some look aheads are just punch list items, our own work to complete list. And, getting, working with your simulator guy to get, him access up there so he can do his install. Finances. So we have 16 change orders currently for, just under 1.2 million. Current contract price is just over 15.5. Our November pencil requisition will put us at 96% complete. Which is, lining up really nicely for us to be, 99.5% complete in December with, retainage and punch list item stuff remaining going into January. CM contingency, there is $0 left in CM contingency. That's all been used up. We have 14% left for our allowance usage, which is actually pretty healthy in terms of where we stand in the project. Change order 17 has a value of $36,508 to date, and we're hopefully no more, but there's been 147 proposal requests and 28 CCDs. A couple of the, if you look on the right, those are just some of the outstanding PCOs that we've submitted and just some things that we're tracking T&M that we plan on wrapping up for the end of December as we push forward. A lot of the stuff has been wrapped up. It's got to reconcile the costs, but we are carrying, RLMs to make sure that everyone kind of understands where we fall. And as you see the bottom line there, looks like we, knock on wood, will end up in the green here overall budget, which is, a credit to kind of everyone on the project, and how we've handled a lot of the existing conditions that we faced as well as change orders. This is just a, schedule update, same thing. We still have the January 15th date that we got on last change order as what we're tracking currently, but we're hoping to beat that, by at least 2 weeks at the minimum. More just depends on how the paperwork kind of shakes up with the holiday season coming up, and getting all those final paperwork is always the hardest part. But we're scheduled for our final stuff, so we should be right there, and again, credit to the project team for getting it to the finish line. Any questions?
Any questions from the committee members?
You saw one expense in there for your simulator. You got a grant for that too, right?
We got an earmark, and I've found out that getting an earmark and getting the earmark are two different things.
Okay.
It's in process. I have been, in all seriousness, I've been in touch with Drew from Representative Margaret's office, who is on it. It's just a matter of having it work through the legislature.
Okay.
So I think we're getting, if I remember correctly, we're getting 33,000 from last fiscal year, and then we'll be getting 33,000 toward it for this fiscal year, but it's all a year off. You get it. And where it goes and how it gets
If you
here.
get it.
If
They're not
it
guaranteed.
doesn't get highway robbed in transit. But that, yeah, we did have earmark from both Senator Boustar and Representative Margaret Ferrante. Any discussion on this? No vote necessary, so we can move on.
Jill's on now.
Okay. I recognize that Chief Administrative Officer Jill Cagle has joined us, also a voting member. Okay, we'll move on to I guess we can move on to the next agenda item, presentation discussion, or any updates on the envelope issues around the brick siding, and I believe that work's completed. Is that correct, Scott?
It's substantially complete. They're still working on it. Like that I think it's that northeast wall on the simulator side,
Right.
the firing range wall. So they set up some temporary, some winter protection around that, and we are just kind of working through the finalizing all that scope within the original authorization that we got from the committee on that. So overall, I think it's going well. There's nothing really no new scope or anything really to add to that, the discussion, unless there's any questions from, the last committee meeting.
I don't have any. Does anybody in the committee?
I think we pretty much took that up at the last meeting.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Great.
Okay, I know QBW Director Mike Hale reached out to me earlier, said that he's out of town today, couldn't make the meeting. I guess I speak from the chair that if you haven't had an opportunity to see the new plaza work, I think it's beat everybody's expectations. It's really nice. Includes, use of Cape Ann native granite in and around planters and steps that were put in. I think it's a significant improvement from what was there before. Certainly Chief McCarthy could talk to the number of injuries over the years that have occurred with some of those steps, and now with the planter and the design work, it kind of focuses people down to a regular standard set of stairs with railings, and then certainly wheelchair access has been improved because the angles have been brought to conformity. So just from my standpoint, I'm very grateful to Mike Hill and his team who worked with subcontractors and everybody else that was involved in that project. Having said that, is there any other thing else to bring up about it?
Big improvement. Oh, what was it? It actually makes the building look nice.
It does, yeah. As my contractor my builder would say, it's inviting. But did you have,
Nothing to add on that. I just brought up the monthly invoices, and then I can just roll into the quick budget update and review a change order 17.
okay, so why don't we, the next item is the parking lot. You addressed that, it's paved. A couple of spots that will probably pave in the springtime where they lifted out the old electrical, the big green ugly electrical box by the entranceway to the back of the building to Sallyport. That will be paved over and possibly right around the fire hydrant as well. But otherwise, I think we're in good shape there. I'll turn this over for agenda items 6 and 7. Scott, if you want to address those.
Sure. So we've got 3 invoices for the previous month. Normal invoice from Doran Whittier for $23,566.17. WT Rich, application 19 for $914,550, and CMS for $27,000. So the total monthly due is $965,116.17. Any questions on the bills for the month?
Anybody online? Hands up.
Yep, I'll see it.
See no further discussion. I'll take a motion to approve payment of the invoice in the amount. I can't see that far from here.
$965,116.17.
I'll accept that as a motion from Heidi Fiello. Do I have a second? Second by John McCarthy. Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Jill's.
Jill has joined us. Roll call, we'll do a roll call vote. All in favor, beginning with me. Yes, John McCarthy,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Heidi,
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
Jill,
Yes.
any noes? Any abstentions? Seeing none, the motion passes. I'll move on to change order 17.
All right. Change order 17 with a value of $36,508 included a few PCOs here. So we had added some additional painting to the curtain wall. The existing metal around the curtain wall was $7,988. We added some, we changed some window shades around just due to the amount of light getting through the existing one, the ones that were put in for $2,303. Just help with, these are more like blackout to help with like anti-glare and stuff. PCO 196 was put on an allowance. This was to change. This was there was some.
The floor's out of level.
Yeah, this was to do the floor being out of level in the courtroom. So adjusted the base there. PCO 195 was door 102, adding a door pull to that door. That was put on one of our allowances. 190 R1 was furring out the walls in the firing range in the like new classroom area for $11,905. And PCO 187 was that was to add the stair in and do some painting and some other miscellaneous work up in the firing range for $9,209. Done on like time and material work. And then the last one's PCO 107 was for the added hose bib up there for $5,103. Again, that was on T&M as well, so. Recommend to approve this change order in the amount of $36,508.
Any discussion?
Is the records window gonna get a shade
It's coming with
in
that
that
order.
line?
Yeah.
They should be out here next week with everything, I think.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll take a motion preferably from someone who could read it.
Chief, I'll make the motion to accept the change order in the amount of $36,508.
Second.
Motion by Heidi Fiallo, seconded by John McCarthy. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote. Ed Conley, yes. John McCarthy,
Yes.
Jim Whalen,
Yes.
Heidi Fiallo,
Yes,
Sean Bushy,
Yes.
and Jill Cahill.
Yes,
Any abstentions? Any noes? Seeing none, the motion passes.
Just moving on to the budget overview. We are about 94% complete overall, and as John had presented in his piece, that with the liabilities to date, we are tracking being in the green with contingency, so that's good. And we do have these numbers are all up to date, obviously, with miscellaneous project expenses and everything, so we'll have a little bit of money left over in project expenses. If we needed to move, we could. And the other item just to talk about is for like FF&E, we're substantially through with procurement on that stuff, but we are expecting some additional miscellaneous things to get ordered within the next month. Or beyond, and we have adequate money within the FF&E budget to handle what's left over, so I would say we're in good shape. Any questions?
When do you anticipate this closing out, Scott?
Probably by March 1. Right?
Yeah.
It was 60 days for punch
Punch
list
list.
is statute.
We have training already scheduled, we got O&Ms in process, just getting the warranty dates and stuff and getting everything, the paperwork wrapping up is probably the longest part.
Now your CO is gonna be for the court. That's what you're gonna be just before Christmas. So they'll be moving back.
They're moving back till March.
Yeah, they're not
They're not moving back.
They've set their own date. Yeah.
Okay.
They get their own furniture coming in up there and stuff, so I think it's all around that.
Yeah, they're bringing furniture in second week of January, but they won't move in fully, because we need to make some connections for them, for their furniture that they're bringing in. But yeah, from what Tim Irvin said, it's, looking like March is when they'll be fully occupied up there.
Okay. Curious.
Also mention if you haven't a chance of the new, we haven't lighted it up yet. I don't think the accent lighting on the side of the building and then the new blue light that's out front
Yeah,
there.
well,
The glow came out better than I thought it would. It's kind of a nice, the bracket that it sits on is nice. I think it fits with the building. I have to talk to DPW director about a certain tree, but otherwise, I think it looks pretty good.
Chris has a hand up.
Chris?
Hi, how are you?
Good, good. You're on.
It looks like we're moving the weekend of Washington's birthday in February,
Okay,
so it's gonna be earlier than March.
okay, Make note. We ready?
Sounds good.
Chris, you know, there's will the court, trial court take care of any notifications, press releases, that type of thing?
Yep, that, we had a meeting today with the court and they're gonna put that out. Once we confirm, we're gonna be able to make those dates. It looks like we are, but you know, in case something comes up in the next couple of weeks.
Okay. Great, that's good news. Great. Anybody have anything else that's not on the agenda? Seeing none, I'll accept the motion to close the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion's made by John McCarthy. Need a second?
Second.
Jim Whalen. Roll call vote. Ed Conley, yes. John McCarthy.
Yes.
Jim Whalen.
Yes.
Heidi Fiallo.
Yes.
John Bushy.
Yes.
And Joe Cahill.
Yes.
Motion is adjourned. Thank you.